With most votes already counted in Egypt's presidential election, Abdel Fattah El-Sisi appears to have won a second term by a landslide. State media says he secured 90% of the vote. While Sisi described the election as a source of pride, critics described it as a sham. Millions of eligible voters stayed home over the 3 days of the election rather than vote for him or his only rival. Mustafa Musa leads a party that supported Sisi. He announced he was running at the last minute after all other potential challengers pulled out. Some were arrested, some were pressured to drop out.
I voted to improve the country's current situation. It doesn't matter who you support. Most of my friends didn't vote.
7 political parties and 150 opposition figures told voters to stay home rather than grant Sisi the electoral legitimacy he wanted. The National Elections Authority warned Egyptians to vote or pay a fine. Other threats and incentives were used to encourage voters, but participation was lower in this election than in the previous 2. More than 1.5 million votes were rejected after some voters submitted blank ballots or wrote in their own candidates. That made the term invalid votes trend on Twitter, the most popular post saying the true winners of the vote were Egyptians who boycotted the election altogether.
We all know that it has no, let's say, constitutional or political legitimacy, in a sense that there's not much of participation, it's not free and fair and so on. But he wants to say at least that there was significant turnout to give him another mandate for another 4 years. Especially that most of his promises in 2014 were not fulfilled. The security for Egypt, the prosperous economic situation, the ending of the crises, whether security or political.
With a new mandate of sorts and with his re-election secured, his strongest supporters are considering the possibility of amending the Constitution to allow Sisi to run for a 3rd term or perhaps even longer. Andrew Chappelle, Al Jazeera.